the myth teaching of Asar, As, and Heru. We're going to be dealing with the 10 virtues, which I'm familiar with as the Medgar, which I'm sure most people, if you're not familiar with it, I'm going to go through that. We're going to discuss the 7 virtues, which people call the Hermetic philosophy stuff, right? We're clear that this is part of the Jehudi, what's his other name? Thought, teachings, and we're going to go through how this connects to healing. One of the things that happens when we speak of healing in general is everybody, not in this room, but we know outside of this room, is very comfortable with the synthetic drug phenomenon. If you get sick, you take a pill. If you get ill, you take a pill. If it hurt, you take a pill. You're giving birth. I gotta go to the hospital! Instead of recognizing that we have the innate ability to deal with all aspects of our healing, first and foremost. There are exceptions. Being hit by a truck, falling out of a plane, you see, emergencies, that's different. But I'm saying in terms of the basic components of everyone's wellness, you have that ability. Every single person in here is a healer. It's whether or not you're willing to take that responsibility to be at least your healer. I know the mothers in here, we know we healers, because nobody wants to go to the hospital at 11 o'clock at night. So we find techniques and rhythms and strategies to be able to heal our children. And then, since I've been on this journey that I thought was a vacation, I want to humbly thank those sisters and brothers that made me have to practice what I taught. Because, again, we could have easily taken what was wrong with us to another level in a foreign country. And it just takes a couple drops of this, maybe a rub down of that, a little smell of this, some extra water, and we were able to deal with most of the situations in Ma'at. When we speak of Ma'at, and I want to highlight that, I think almost everybody can give me some terms. What is Ma'at?
Truth, justice, harmony, reciprocity, balance, gentle character.
Music. Music is one of the highest forms of the manifestation of Ma'at. Because that's where we get balance. You ever feel sometimes where you're just sick, you got headache, tired, just want to go to sleep. Stop waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, getting up to go on a plane at 6 o'clock in the morning. Sounds familiar? What usually helps us is sound. Sometimes it's the stillness in the air. Those different structures are in alignment with stars that's still working up to this day. And they did not have an observatory that we're familiar with like now. They did not have the big telescope that allowed them to see light years away. They just intuited, and they had the signs and the keen eye like Heru. That's why you see people wanting to wear the crown of a bird. Not because they just want to do some kind of gargoylish energy, because they're working on tuning into and strengthening that particular attribute, that particular characteristic, that particular quality of strength in themselves, to be keen on sight, to be able to look over things bird-like. So I always like to refer to my elders when people think I'm coming out super rough, because I know that we're comfortable with that. We know about holistic medicine. That's why I don't have to do the 2-hour PowerPoint presentation with anyone in here. Because I know you already have, it's an 8, it's in you already. All I'm doing is begging you to open up enough for me to just bring out a little extra. Because you already have that. The melanin has encoded you with that. You have that strength. And it's a matter of you now taking it and honing it. Doing like Knum. Remember we was talking about what is Knum and all the Ram's head, wow, Potter. The energy, when you have someone talking about that Knum principle, we're talking about the master, deified one, that forms how we think, how we breathe, how we feel, how we work, how we heal, how we build. Because without us doing that, there'll be no healing. And then we could just do like the synthetic version of to heal is to be able to be a homeopathic, a practitioner, we can deal with some things that's naturopathic, and it'll just be but what needing words, and it won't be any action, it won't be any practice to that. We've had the opportunity to learn about Imhotep. So when you see the term Imhotep, and we see what the media is doing, we can let them do that. Why? Because that's what they do. But it's important that we let our youth, our family members recognize and understand that in Ma'at, in truth, Imhotep is still unparalleled. And the blessing is coming forth now, and I take it as an honor to even be here, is that I'm working my best to just try to be close to his feet, just a little bit, as a naturopathic practitioner. It is not easy to try to understand all of the body systems. And nowadays, it's not easy to try to help people that have diseases that they don't even know the name to. And if it's coming, this hurts. Make it stop. Make it stop now. And sometimes you will find yourself just giving and giving and giving. I can only imagine what Imhotep had to deal with. To be able to not only be a practicing physician and to be able to write all the various formulas for all the different holistic remedies that were used for different diseases that were coming forth, again, in the multitude. But then to also be an architect, then to be an engineer, and a master engineer at that. That requires a serious form of discipline. It requires a serious commitment, not just to self, and not just to your family that lives in your parent aunt and your yard, but to the parent aunt globally and outside of yourself. So that's why I'm always suggesting, when we speak of these individuals, we're talking about Imhotep, we have to begin to do what? Live in accordance and harmony in reference to those entities that left this legacy for us. Are you with me still?
Yes.
All right, too. Now, how many of you have heard of Pesachet? Two. Pesachet is regarded as one of the first teachers, female physicians, who was actually teaching physicians in their science. It's important that we know who she is. That's why I made sure that I put one of the inscriptions from a stele of her. And even when you look at it, sometimes she looks kind of hard because it was almost like they didn't want to show she had a breast. You understand? But this was a woman, a Nubian woman at that had mastered a variety of different sciences dealing with the medical field. She was one of the individuals that was able to contribute significantly to what we now know as the Ron and the Evers pipeline that provide a variety of medical candidates for us to use now to heal.
Can you repeat the name again?
Pesachet. You're going to deal with healing. You want to deal with your body, your mind, your spirit, and your consciousness.